So, the Judean finger is... So, it's better than me, what was the shit one I done?
Which
Christopher
one?
Eccleston. Listen, lad. Well, some of them are shitter than others.
You didn't do a Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, I did. Remember, it sounded like Kermit the Frog.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't practiced that, so I'm doing it.
Do it anyway.
What a surprise.
So,
Show Moko, show Moko.
the Judean one was going to be, welcome to the Shobocast. But
That went way
Yeah.
better than I thought it would.
welcome to the Shobocast, as the Judean said earlier. And my name's Paul.
My name's Dan.
Cameron?
And I'm Jinx.
Ah, that was almost flawless.
It was almost perfect, but all I heard was Cameron cut out.
So you might just
So it just went,
Cameron.
Amron?
Amron.
So yeah, we're back. We're not dead yet.
We're back, baby. And we're talking
back.
about the time
We haven't had the birthday to eat any cake, so we're still kicking.
We're back no matter how hard you tried to stop us.
It's broken, you. The required watching broken. He was messaging me while he was watching it. I felt so bad for him.
Who, me?
No, Sweet
Cameron?
Cheese, he was not having any fun.
Oh really?
No.
When was
We'll
this?
get on to
Last
that.
night when
Oh, I thought you liked it. You wanted to do it.
me?
I've been led. Yeah.
No, I very vocally dislike this episode.
Oh, I've been led into the false sense of security.
That's
You're
what I
the
wanted to
only
talk
one who
about it.
enjoys it, I think.
Ah,
I enjoy bits of it.
this is
Should
betrayal.
we?
Yeah, me too.
Should we keep this until we get to talking about the episode?
Yeah,
Yeah.
should we just do the news?
The news.
Yeah, we'll do the news and then we'll move on to Ascension of the Cybermen and Timeless Children, and then I'll cry.
I will fall asleep at some point, so you'll have to like call me to wake me up.
Yes.
So I can end the
So
recording.
let's start the news. News. The news. There's not much this week. I've just got the one story.
What?
Yeah.
Nah.
Fuck
I-
off. We sent
Let
loads.
me check the Discord. We put loads in.
They were all like doctors doing things, like actual real doctors.
No.
Any
So
headline?
two of them.
Something to do with Time Lord Victorious, and then one that may not be true.
Yeah, so I didn't include it because I couldn't find a source for it.
Don't include that one because it was shit. The very last one. The one about
Yeah.
the guy just bragging.
That guy's face.
I only included stuff I could find a proper source for and that I thought was actually interesting.
Did you include the Brian Blessed thing?
That's not news.
That's
Come
not
on.
news.
news.
That's free cheese news. That's the best kind.
Okay, well, just for context, that's apparently Brian Blessed was approached for the role of the Doctor in the 60s.
The second Doctor.
Yeah, which I think would be a terrible choice.
Especially because he was going to play him Chinese.
Really?
Because
I didn't read the
sounded
article.
like a Chinese name.
Did you think
He said
that's all the news
Who
was?
was a Chinese name. So he was going to play him as a Chinese person.
Oh,
which
that's
was
the
Straight
worst thing I've ever
very
heard.
racist.
Straight up like Wen Chiang type thing.
That's horrific.
Yeah.
Who's that though? What would you
Hello.
rather have?
So the-
Chinese Brian Blessed or blackface Patrick Troughton?
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
John
could I take neither?
Well, these were both options that were apparently on the table. You have to
can I
pick
put
one.
a different option on the table?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You can burn the table for all I care.
Oh, that is the only correct option. Yeah, the only bit of news I got this week is the Time Lord Victorious double LP with
Yeah.
David Tennant and Paul
You are
McGann.
aware there's going to be a Time Lord Victorious thing to talk about every episode.
There's going to be one every week until it ends, and probably even after it
Maybe
ends.
even after that.
Yeah. And I think even after it ends, we still won't know really what it is.
No, then we'll be talking about the Tom Baker stuff for 2024.
Yeah, we have to go
Until
back and listen.
2024.
we have to go back and listen to them Fourth Doctor Lives in a Cottage audios after that.
Yeah.
When I find them.
Rosie.
Yeah, so this is a Big Finish audio drama called Echoes of Extinction. It's been released on vinyl as a double A side. With one side will be a story with Paul McGann, and the other is David Tennant. And you can listen to them any order, and apparently they're interlinking stories.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting.
I imagine it'll be like, and then the 8th Doctor left the room, and then the door opened, and the 10th Doctor entered the room. Like,
yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of them just missing each other.
Yeah.
It also stars Arthur Darvill. Also known as Rory. Yeah, not as Rory.
Yeah.
And Bern Gorman, but not as Owen from Torchwood.
Which, to be honest, is a missed opportunity, because Owen's like the best character in the entirety of Doctor Who.
He's a bit of a sex pest, though.
I have one piece of news.
Okay, go on.
And it's not the Brian Blessed thing, because we've mentioned that.
Give us some news.
Let me just find it.
This is fascinating listening.
Oh, sorry.
Frankly, this is the best piece of news I've ever heard.
Excuse me a second while I search for it. No, that was last week.
I'm going to stop recording.
Whilst Paul is trying to look for
I went too far back.
You do know dead air is a crime.
Is it?
Yeah.
But I haven't killed it, so...
Whilst Paul's trying to find his news, thank you to everyone who has listened to episode 2 so far. There's more views there than I thought. Thank you.
Really? I haven't checked the views on last week.
Me neither. I'll do that now.
Found it.
I'll do that now while Paul does whatever the fuck it is he's doing.
I've found the news bit.
Go on. Give us a little news story.
The brave Doctor Who gave it all for her patients.
Shut up.
That was a very, very long setup for a joke.
I thought I'd be able to find
I'm
it
hesitant to call a joke.
I thought I'd be able to find it way quicker than that.
I'm deleting your comment off that video.
Part of the setup joke was you weren't going to laugh whilst reading it out.
I didn't, did I?
Sounded like you did.
Okay, wait there.
He was so proud of himself.
Fuck off. The brave Doctor Who gave it all for her patients.
Can I hit the horse another time? I think it's dead now.
Wait there, I'm sure there's another one.
Oh, is there another one?
I
don't want to hear it.
I'm not sure whether they announced the titles a while back, actually.
Faceless
but they announced the covers for the River Song and the 10th Doctor box set. Or the 10th Doctor and River Song box set. You can't see them on screen, so look them up and then listen to the rest of this bit.
This is quality audio.
They look good, don't they?
This is the worst one we've recorded yet.
Audio talking about pictures.
Dan will make us look good in the edit.
No, I'm not editing this one, I've told you. I'm keeping it one take.
No, come on.
This is the one. It'll have dislikes because of Series 12, but also because it's bad.
No, just trim out the silences and that.
No. Shall we?
Oh, so I can do it.
Go on, Dan.
Through gritted teeth.
If you got to slag it off, get out.
I've got nothing else to do but slag. So this week we're talking about the season 12 finale, Ascension of the Cybermen, and Timeless Children. I thought because it would be fun to get my feelings out, but then I had to watch the episode again.
Yeah.
And I got very sad.
I like both episodes.
Well, we're going to try and figure that out.
Yeah.
We're going to figure you out, Paul.
Well,
and you're going to have to defend yourself, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what are our overall thoughts on these two? Should we talk about Ascension first?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the least
I think Ascension is the more problematic one of the two. I think we can agree. Not in terms of reveals. I mean, as a story and how it's written, I think I have more issues with Ascension than than t'other one.
Maybe.
Ascension does seem like it's just there to fill out the thing. He didn't have enough ideas for all 10 episodes, and so it's just like, what can I do? I know, a flashback in Ireland.
Yeah, this was a really, really long...
slag Brendan off.
I've got stuff to say about Brendan. This was a really, really long first act where, quite frankly, nothing happened.
It's weird, because in that time, they could have shown us so many things that instead they chose to tell us.
Yeah.
Like,
they always put the time into the first act rather than the third act.
Yeah.
That's
but stuff has to happen.
Issue, that.
Like...
But there's no excuse for it here, because there's 2 separate episodes. That's plenty of space.
Yeah.
It's twice the chin balls.
It was... yeah, so it starts with the Doctor and the companions arriving...
Whoa! You've jumped the shark.
Oh, right, okay. Should we talk about Brendan, then? Should we talk about Brendan?
No, not yet. Let's talk about that bomb-ass intro, shall we?
That intro is one of the best ones I've seen in a long time. It's a little bit too long.
Where it goes into the Cyberman's eye.
And then the vortex is there for the intro.
Sexy, that lad. Proper.
It's pretty cool.
Proper gets my motor going.
Each sounds like something you'd hear in V for Vendetta thing. Just thought that for some reason.
I can't
know what we're reviewing next week.
Do you know what happens after the credits? Well, the opening titles.
Well, it's a weird little Irish baby, isn't it?
No, it's copyright. That was the worst idea you've ever had.
That was really fucking loud.
You don't want to get content ID'd on our third episode.
No. Or maybe we do, because this is the worst one we've done.
Theme in Series 12. And that should be illegal to give Brendan the best theme.
Yeah.
It is good music, yeah.
Do we want to talk about Brendan, then?
Yeah.
Get this bit over with?
You know what I think we should do, actually, is summarise real quick our thoughts on Series 12 before the finale.
That's a because that's a good idea.
Really enjoyed Spyfall, despite it. Well, because I'm a simple-minded folk, so they just grab anything from previous stories, like the Killer Sat Nav, all of that stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, I like it. So I can't fault Spyfall.
Also,
the rest of the episodes though failed to kind of match that for me.
I don't know. Series 12, for Series 11 for me was incredibly. It was 10 very dull episodes. And I think Series 12 was the first time I went, oh, maybe the 13th Doctor does, have some good... It was the first time I watched an episode and went, these are all right. So that Nikola Tesla one, and...
I enjoyed that, yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. One of the best episodes.
Mary Shelley... I didn't mind Paraxis either. I thought they were all fairly good episodes of Doctor Who.
I think it had good ideas, yeah.
Yeah.
Praxis was a bit of a letdown when it teased some massive monster. Not like, do you know what I mean? Like a skeletal monster. And then it was like, your mate's gonna explode.
Yeah. Basically, I went into this finale with just kind of good feelings.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited.
Yeah,
sure.
I thought it was going to be at least watchable, and I was sorely disappointed.
Oh.
The problem I've got with Series 12 is with some of the villains. You've got the weird scorpion things in Nikola Tesla's Night of Horror.
The Skiffler and its terror. Come on, Cameron. Scrub up on your Nikola Tesla, lad.
Cough. And the plastic stuff in Praxis, which could have been the Arachnos, because it looks a lot fucking like Arachnos.
Yeah.
And an Auton or Nesting Consciousness.
Yeah.
And
it's weird that they didn't make it at least related to the Arachnos.
Yeah. Like
when Davies made the Ood related to the Sensorites.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the Sensorite is.
It's from the first Doctor's first season. From an episode called The Sensorites, if you believe that.
It's a pretty boring one.
It looked very cheap.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I get that. There was a lot of villains that were very, very similar to ones that are already in the show. And
Yeah,
Even
it
the
was
Eternals.
either he lifted ideas straight from the past to try and get us on board, which worked for me because, like I said, I'm simple. But a lot of the time he was just getting stuff and going, "Oh look, it's like that, but it's not," and it's like, well, why? Come on,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
enjoy
are we going
series
to
12.
mention? Are we going to
Mainly
mention
our
what happened in
problems.
Prisoner of the Jadoon?
No, because we're not talking about that episode.
Oh, but it has implications on these episodes.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Paul, what do you think of Series 12?
I like all of it. I do have problems with Orphan 55. I'm not sure whether it was like cut down a lot in the writing, or whether it's just got really shit editing. And it
A
has.
lot of it's in the editing,
Yeah.
but a lot of it's in the writing as well.
A lot of it's in the Benny and Vilma.
Uh-huh.
Eddie!
Oh.
Then what else? I think, what's it called? Can You Hear Me is a bit of a like forgettable episode, but it's not like bad.
That one surprised me with how quickly I forgot about it. Yeah.
I was enjoying it
remember
a lot.
Happened in
And
that
then
one.
both the Eternals escape.
A man
And
goes
then
around
a
fingering
scene
people's
later, they
ears.
just like bang, locked up again. Yeah, the finger man was a bit weird. But
That could have been a really good horror episode. A bit like the Nightmare Man and Sarah Jane.
I
did like how weird the ear stuff was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we
wonder how-
dislike any of the ideas because they're like cringy or whatever. Because it's Doctor Who, it's supposed to be. I
It's
think
nonsense.
we don't like the execution. I think that's the main
Yeah.
main thing.
Well, I'm alright with most of the execution. It's just
well,
Orphan
yeah, because
55.
you're a simp for Chibnall.
Daddy Chibs.
It's fine though.
So should we get into
The meat and the bones.
Ascension?
So the
I
Doctor.
was going to say the meat and bones.
Yeah,
Great
there's not a lot of meat on those bones, but
Oh,
God, you're just throwing them out.
I'm just
slagging them off at every opportunity.
My summary for this episode is what I wrote down is this episode is
Need for help?
this episode is lots of people I don't care about dying for no reason.
Ooh.
What? But you just described Orphan 55.
That is a recurring theme throughout this. There's a lot of death.
And there's a lot of death, and there's a lot of
12.
empty characters.
Yeah, and they give us their
The sort of character
backstory.
who's introduced just to be killed off.
They give us their
quite
backstory,
like
but we don't
that,
actually see any of it.
Characters in this episode, to be honest. Like,
Name a
that
single
we're
one.
introduced to. Well, let me get up the list.
Oh Jesus!
But,
Ravioli.
Did anyone else get proper Sean Connery vibes from Ko Sharmus?
No,
Is he?
they mean Goshamers.
Ko Sharma, he's an Irish actor, so
Oh,
it is sort
thingy,
of like the
Game of Thrones man.
Sharmus, not stared, as they say. You don't.
I don't know if he's been in Game of Thrones, but
He is. He's
does.
he's Barrister Selmy.
I don't know. I haven't watched Game of Thrones.
But
he is Grumpy in Derry
What he
Girls.
looks like. Oh. So, the names. Yeah. You've got
Very silly name.
Fikath, Ravio, Yedlami,
Oh God.
Fuskel, Ko Sharmus, and Ethan.
These are some of the worst sci-fi names.
Where the
It's
fuck did
like-
he pick Ethan up?
It did.
It's
You just
like-
get bored at the end there, didn't they? Really.
It's like sub Star Wars level, nonsense, throwing syllables.
It is
together.
quite good when you read them out. It's just and Ethan.
The one that really,
Ethan.
the one that really took the piss for me was Yedlami.
I don't know who any of. I couldn't put a name to. I couldn't put a face to any of those names.
I screenshotted most of them. Where's Yedlami, little dickhead?
Right, so I just googled Ko Sharmus.
Oh, never mind.
And
It's dead far away on the screen.
Just need to bring this up, and it is a slight spoiler for later. But one of the people also asked bits on Google is Tectyon a Rassilon.
A Rassilon.
A Rassilon.
A Rassilon.
Not
I guess she. Well, no, she isn't, because in the script it says she's with Rassilon.
because we can assume these, which is I'll get onto that later. But why are you making assumptions
We can
about your
assume
own?
them.
Let's stick to Ascension of the Cybermen.
Yeah. I it's just, but it was so they claim to come to the end of the giant cyber war, but it feels very small scale.
Well, they're the last 5 people
There's
on
only
that planet.
7.
Whatever.
Seven,
Sorry,
Dan.
Well, they
7
said
people.
last like
Want me
7
to name
people.
them again?
No.
No.
They're
The last 7 on that side of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Odd universe, they said.
No, one of them.
I kind of call bullshit on. It doesn't.
The last 7 on that side.
The problem is about.
Oh, great.
We see a lot of the human race in the far future, like, and how big it is, and explore. You know, they explore the stars and they conquer other planets. You get like New Earth and stuff like that. But I don't.
Thank you, Russell.
Yeah, it's
One
hard
of the
to
people in
believe
Utopia.
that these 5 people are important because you know that there's humans out there and it's all fine. And yeah, like you said, like we learn about their backstory a bit, but none of it's shown to us. It's all just dumped on us, and we just don't care about them the way that I think they expected us to.
I personally think that Ravio's a bit of a man-eater, and she's got eyes for Graham.
Which one was that?
The woman.
The older.
Yeah, the
Older
woman
lady.
who's proper like.
Yeah, that felt like
Graham.
they felt like they were doing that. And then,
Yeah.
I just want to mention this
didn't.
because I will forget later on. There's a bit where they're both talking to each other. I think it's in Ascension towards the end, and Graham, I think Bradley Walsh just messes up his line, and they kept that shot in.
Yes, yeah.
But it sounds like
Yeah.
he's saying "I'm the doc," and then he stops and then says something,
Mhm.
and it's just
He's
weird.
such a weird choice.
I'm the
to
most
do that.
normal bloke you will ever meet.
Yeah, but just before that, he
wrote that
says
down.
"I'm the doctor," and then stops and then says another line. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Maybe he was going to say, "I'm the Dark Destroyer," and then he was going to put blackface on or something.
Right. So I have a question with the plot as when the Doctor first turns up. Why did they park the TARDIS so far away?
Listen, she's shit at flying it. Well, not she, as in like a woman, but the Doctor in general is shit at flying the TARDIS.
Yeah, I don't.
They had the
that.
coordinates.
Yeah,
Put the coordinates into the TARDIS, and it's like, oh, now we're in the middle of this thing. Everyone into the TARDIS. You don't get attacked by Cybermen. Fuck off, Ashad's plan.
Yeah.
Score on my wall as well for that.
I have a good point about this opener. As far as I remember. Oh no, actually, never mind. I was going to say it's the first time in modern Doctor Who that they've referenced the Cybermen being allergic to gold, but they do it in Nightmare in Silver. So
They solve it
Great
in
facts.
Nightmare in Silver.
Great.
yeah, facts that aren't facts. But I do like the way they brought it up. So
Well, what was the point in all those? Because they walk in with a bunch of things
they're like,
and then just
we'll
stand
get
around
them.
for a bit talking about what they are.
Yeah.
That was my favourite bit of this episode,
It's a
where
force field.
everyone stood in a line and talked about the things they were holding.
Bradley Walsh spouting stuff.
Did you want
Yeah.
to mention your reaction times that you mentioned before?
Yeah, so when the Cyberdrones attack, the Doctor shouts, "Fam, get down." It takes a further 15 seconds that the Doctor finishes that for Yaz to do anything and to do something.
There's another bit where the Doctor's like, oh, what am I going to
I
do?
shouted, "Get down, you get down."
Yeah, there's a bit where the Doctor's like, right, I'll act as bait. And she goes, over here, Cybermen. And then immediately the other Cybermen go, oh, there's the companions, and start shooting at them.
I love that bit.
It's
And she still keeps running.
yeah.
I feel like it's
Love it.
another example of when she just, like, for no reason, she just talks to herself and says, I'll do this thing, and then does it. She does it a lot in her era.
I've got a good bit about that. In me screenshots, not in me notes.
Here we go.
The Doctor's very
Also, how
assertive.
good are these defenses meant to be?
Not very, because
they don't do anything.
Last about a minute.
Yeah, they didn't know what they were up against. So, in the episode, this particular part, proper fucked that. The Doctor's like dead assertive towards them. When she says, she's like, "Oh, this isn't a discussion," and then Yaz's like arguing back because she does that a lot in these 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I've been very careless with you, you're human," and then obviously like referencing Bill and Adrich. So, like, you know, I've just remembered you can't see what I'm doing, but yeah.
No, I don't. She willingly took them to the middle of a big cyber war, and then was like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah,
seemingly.
That's why she says, I've been reckless. Back
If only they parked the TARDIS closer, they could have escaped.
So, Paul, do you like this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Why?
I had fun with it.
Okay.
I weren't bored watching it. I didn't think anything was particularly bad.
I was quite bored.
I quite like the characters.
You see, I say this a lot, but for a lot of stuff, especially Doctor Who, for me, good is good, bad is good in a certain way, boring is bad. I've picked that up from somewhere, and like for me, I'm mostly indifferent to this era of the show. Not for anything particular, but I like when it's good for me. It's some of the best Doctor Who I've seen, but it doesn't last very long. And like for this 2-parter, and especially Ascension, I was just kind of sat there looking at the screen. I didn't really connect with any of it.
Yeah, it's just dull. That's the biggest, but not biggest. That's the only way I can really think of describing this is. I don't think any of this needed to happen.
Did you just not relate to Ethan because he had a normal name?
I don't know which one Ethan is.
He's curly haired lad. He's Ethan. He's the kid.
Curly hair.
The young lad.
He the one who hacks the cyber ship?
Yeah,
yes.
Like that.
Ah, yeah, the one who can hack a cyber ship faster than the incredibly smart and clever Doctor.
Yeah, but the one who's been since he was a kid.
I don't believe he was doing it when he was 4 years old, though. That's like...
The Doctor's only been doing it since she was a teenager many thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
Were they trying to
90 years old.
set something up with him? Because there's a bit where the Doctor tried to hotwire the cyber ship, and then he's like, "No, let me take over," and does it quicker, and it makes a bunch of noises. But then he doesn't really do anything for the next episode and a half.
Well, he gets his dad killed.
Yeah.
Good on you, Ethan. I wouldn't have done that personally, but you go ahead.
Like, it felt like they were setting up like, "Oh, this kid's good at engineering and fiddling with circuits," and then nothing came of it.
That's the second time in the series. Remember in Orphan 55 with James Buckley's character?
Oh, yeah.
And they acted like there was what a waste of James Buckley, by the way.
Absolutely.
That episode grinds my gears.
Right, but we're not talking about that one.
Oh, we'll get to that another day.
Should we talk about Brendan?
Nope.
Yeah,
no.
Who's flashback?
Thank you for listening to the Shobocast. We will catch you in episode 4.
Just not just love for them.
I don't hate
I've got
it.
in my
I just
notes.
don't get it.
I think Brendan is stupid and it doesn't mean anything and goes nowhere. And it was a waste of time.
It does go somewhere.
It does not.
I'm not saying I don't get it. Like,
bits with Brendan
don't, but I just don't get why it was there.
It does though, because it's like the reskinned version of the Timeless.
I know, but that doesn't add anything at all.
But she was going to find out anyway,
poetic.
so what was the point?
Is it? Is
sort
it?
Of.
Is it?
Poetry shit anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Also, the child Brendan looks a lot like Chibnall, I noticed.
Let me Google.
What?
Because I have no idea.
I thought the toddler-aged Brendan looked like a little tiny Chibnall.
Just a fat baby. That's offensive to Daddy
Right.
Chibs, though.
This is a quote from my notes. I thought the Brendan flashback bit stopped the pacing of the episode faster than a brick wall on a motorway. Because it's just like really exciting lasers, guns, explosions, running away, hiding in a cyber ship. Nice country folk music of a man cycling down a country lane in Ireland.
A little
It's
Irish
alright.
boy.
Who
Do you
the
not want
fuck?
to see?
He finds a
That.
baby.
Do you not want to see a little Irish man riding a bike to the banging score? No.
The music
That-
is the
that's-
only bit I like about that.
That's
The
all
pink-
I've ever
the-
wanted out of Doctor Who. It's been building up to this
it
for 50
felt-
years.
It felt very Moffat-y, but Moffat would reveal something interesting
Something.
about it. Like if Moffat was to do it, it would come to something.
There is a sort of interesting bit I noticed. In Paul, shut the fuck up. In the Brendan flashbacks, Brendan has his father, who is implied to be Tecteon, but there's also a mother there who we don't see in the actual timeless child bit.
Yeah.
She's just
So,
a non-playable character.
right.
If we continue to use the video game analogy.
I've not got much else to say about this episode.
I have...
My bigger thoughts are on
That's good. We
Timeless
can
Children.
finish early.
I'm
just sick to death of talking about this finale,
Yeah,
which is horrible.
I'll be
'cause
glad
it's
to get
Doctor
it.
Who, and I should be.
Yeah,
I
I'll
should
be
never
glad
shut up.
to
I do have one more thing to
be
say.
done with it.
I like when the Doctor's pure golden Ashad.
I've got
You know, when she's like, that's what I call in a conflict and that, because you loathe yourself. And he's just like, yeah.
I like the bit
that was a
where
silly line.
they're on the ship and the lone Cyberman very clearly like tortures another Cyberman for some reason, and then when he's finished and the Cyberman has stopped screaming,
Removing the human bits.
the woman really helpfully says, "A Cyberman who can make other Cybermen scream," and I was just like, "We know, we just saw that."
Yeah, I
But
just like that particular
got-
bit of writing.
He wasn't removing the human
Another
bits.
bit from the end of the episode. I thought that's what that bit was implying, because it's like, my new cyber warriors are 100% robotic. I thought that's what that bit
That
was
would
meant to be.
make sense, but they've
No, that's why I thought it.
Yaz and Ryan very explicitly state they have to like scoop out the human bits.
Yeah, I think he was
In Timeless
drilling it
Children.
open. Like,
Yeah, because it was sort of
he
like a
drilling
whirling blade
into it
sort
to
of
open
noise.
it up or something.
The same thing happens again later on. The cyber ship arrives at the boundary, and you hear that, and then like it lingers on this ship, and it cuts to what's he called, Koshamus. It cuts to him, and he just goes, "They're here." It's like, yeah, we know. There's so
So,
much like
with the-
pointless stuff.
It's a
crammed in.
vindicative
Probably
tell,
half
don't show.
blind, though.
Yeah, it's he either doesn't show us something that he should be showing us and tells us instead, or he does the complete opposite.
Correct me if I'm wrong, yeah.
So weird.
Do you know Koshamus?
Yep.
Yeah.
He lives in basically a tent, doesn't he?
It's like a maze.
And do you know that bit where he says, I've built it like a maze? I just walk through it.
Yeah,
It's blocked.
with a
Walk
knife.
through the
Burn
block,
it.
yeah.
He could burn it and he'd be trapped because it's a maze.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't. Well, one more thing to say is when the Master appears at the end out of the thing,
Love that.
and he once again says,
Everything's about to change.
everything's about to change. He spent like basically all of this season just talking about how much things are going to change.
Yeah,
Like even next episode, he's like, "I'm going to tell you
yeah.
something."
It takes him like 20 minutes to
Yeah.
actually get to the thing. And then
oh,
even then he
you're not
stalls
going to
for time.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're not
but
going to
then-
believe the things I'm going to tell you.
Yeah,
Just wait till I tell you them, because I'm going to tell you.
carrot
Yeah,
on a
but
stick.
Dan, things are going to change
Things
Everything's going to change, Paul.
at some
What did
point.
you guys think of the Cyber Warrior design?
Amazing.
Sexy.
The best ever.
That was. I really liked that design. Apart from the spikes on the arms.
Why did
Yeah, I don't understand that bit. But
You know, for a second, I
Thank
thought
you.
you were going to say, "What did we think of the Cyberwoman design?"
Oh,
that's for a different thing.
Yeah,
That's a good episode, that, all things considered.
No.
Cyberwoman?
Written by Chibbles.
No.
I enjoyed it.
Really.
That was when I saw that before, when Chibnall was announced. I was like, he is a terrible choice for the first female Doctor.
But I tell you
Well,
what,
The man who wrote the Cyberwoman episode.
do you remember that?
That's a fun episode.
Dan, that bit, the most quotable bit in Torchwood for me is that when we woke up in the morning, a dog was pissing on our tent. That's my favourite Torchwood quote. That's when Yanto just starts crying when he snuck the entire cyber conversion unit underground.
Oh, lad, one of my Discord channels, not channels, like whatever it's called, servers, it has that exact picture of the Yanto crying as its banner.
We'll get to Cyberwoman. I would like to
do.
do Cyberwoman pretty soon because I'm genuinely interested, like, to see what you like about it.
Me?
Yeah.
This is very
I
silly episode.
I didn't hate any. Well, until you get to Miracle Day, I didn't hate any episodes of Torchwood. I thought they were all good.
I
Some really good episodes of Torchwood early on.
Yeah,
I was expecting the Cyberwoman one to be bad, and then I watched it, and then I thought they've just covered her in barbecue sauce. And
I forgot that's how the episode ends.
I had a pterodactyl go to town on it, and I thought, how can you not like that?
It's
like, what more do you want?
So yeah, we like the Cyber
Warrior. Like a magnum opus. The Cyber Warrior design is sex. Like,
should we talk about the most controversial bit of this season then, which is the Timeless
I've
Children?
got 2 more points on.
Oh,
hold on.
Ascension.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So, the plan that Yaz has when they discover there's thousands of Cybermen on the ship they're on is not to not go anywhere near the boundary. It's let's take this army of Cybermen to the boundary where there is the last known humans in existence.
Yeah. Another thing about that, do you know when when they turn up there, do you know Kosharma stayed there in case there was any more humans? Yeah. They turn up and they go, yeah, we're the last humans, and he goes, nah, there are no more humans. Why are you waiting there then?
I did not think of that.
What are you waiting for, Kosharma? Just
where did all those other humans go?
Through the boundary.
What?
Like,
but just somewhere
the
else.
boundary led to Gallifrey,
Somewhere.
didn't it?
I know the master
it's always random.
Yeah, but I wanted to see his reaction to seeing that the people weren't there, at least.
It's weird because you can watch Doctor Who your whole life and never heard of a boundary, and then you can watch an Ascension of the Cybermen and the Timeless Children, and there's 2 of them. Because that's what the Timeless Child comes out of as well, a boundary.
Oh,
yeah. Maybe it's the same one.
Maybe.
That's
what I'm so glad, because after this episode, I thought them humans are going to go through there. It's going to be pre-Gallifrey. They're going to become the Shobogans.
I thought that as well.
And then I was like, that's going to be terrible.
I would have been fine.
Well, I don't know. That would be almost interesting.
Yeah.
He deserves a clap
which
for not
this
doing
episode fails to be in every sense.
And
what else you got?
Last proper note I've got is at one point when they're at the boundary, the Doctor says, "Oh, it's a leap into the unknown. Who would do something like that?" Which is sort of the pot calling the kettle black, because that is what the Doctor did at the start of the TV show back in 1963. At one point, there was a randomizer on the TARDIS, so they didn't know where they were going, and it's basically the Doctor's MO. Let's go somewhere random that is the unknown and do something.
To be fair, it's a leap into the unknown, but if you get there and you don't like it, you're in the TARDIS, which is infinite, so, please, you're on you.
Okay, Timeless Children.
Right. So, 10 out of... No, I'm joking. It's a good episode.
Right at the end of Ascension is fucking brilliant.
7 or 7
trailer
or 8 out of 10, I'll give it.
Brilliant, and then the actual episode is piss.
Wow. Okay, Alfred.
I thought of Michael Caine when you said that.
Here's my hot take.
What was that for? What was that? What?
Oh,
Michael Caine.
Okay.
Awful. Here's my hot take.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
You, Doctor, you are the Timeless Child. There was this little baby at the boundary. With a
Oh,
ruby
can we get
the
Michael
size
Caine
of a
to play
tangerine.
Tectone, please?
Michael Caine's right here.
Hello, I'm Tectone.
Tectone saw what the baby could do and decided to manipulate her.
Wait, so do we want Michael Caine as the master or as Tectone? Or both?
Brass one.
I want Michael Caine as Michael Caine.
I want him as the meddling monk, please.
Michael Caine as Michael Caine as the Doctor's companion. Playing himself.
Cameron, your
Caine
face lit up
is
then.
Michael Caine.
He asks the Doctor if they can go and do a heist because he's always making movies about heists these days.
Now you see him.
I mean, Italian
Not
job.
even that. Oh, he's in Now You See Me too.
Yeah, he's
There's
like...
a movie that he done about like 3 old people robbing a bank, and then the next year he done a movie about him robbing a bank.
Yeah.
And then a couple of weeks ago, I got an advert for an audio series narrated by him about robbing a bank, and I was like,
The
Michael,
Audible podcast.
calm
Yeah.
down.
Is that
I think
a
he's
K- is
also
that
in
a
a film
K1
about the
robot
Hatton
behind?
Garden job. What?
Oh, sorry, is that a K1
Behind me?
robot behind you? Yeah.
This boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's an,
Anyway,
It's not a figure though. It's like a statue one.
all right. Still cool.
Really
Yeah,
like the
so,
Master's outfit in this.
I do like his outfit.
It's
It's,
basically
love it.
It's sort of it's reminiscent
a bit of fun.
the older classic Doctor Who outfits that they'd have, like the
Yeah.
more flamboyant stuff. Which I think
Yeah.
they said in a behind the scenes thing, it's intentional for that, but I really like it.
Yeah, I think the Han might be my favourite version of the Master. If not, it's but at the moment I think it might be the Han.
I've got a lot of love for Missy, and
Oh, Missy's third place.
I liked Missy at first, and then she started dabbing.
Oh, I remember that.
I absolutely love the Missy dab.
Fuck out.
So who we getting
I
to
love
Can we
it.
get
replace?
William Hartnell doing a dab, please? Big
Here's the thing. It was a good dab. It was a quality dab. That's all I'm
let's move
saying.
on.
The sixth Doctor should do a dab, and he could go, "It's a dab, my dear, and not a moment too soon."
That's the one for the impression supercut that we're going to be doing. Probably when we hit like 10 episodes, I'll throw together just the impressions.
And then the ninth Doctor could do it, and he'd go, "It's a dab."
That wasn't
Yeah.
bad.
No,
That was terrible.
That was awful.
When I was
Mine, it
listening
wasn't
back
bad.
to the last episode, and you said fantastic, I was like, "Did we get Chris Eccleston back?"
What?
Sounded like exactly like him.
Fantastic.
Done what Big Finish can't even do, unless they can. Oh.
No.
So my hot take for this episode is
Go
I
on.
think it's one of the worst things that's happened to Doctor Who in a very long time.
I
Is
don't
that a
think
hot
it is.
take?
It's bad, but it's not the worst.
I don't
It's not
think that's a
like-
hot take.
That's a boring
monsters.
take. Boo!
Oh,
It changes everything for no reason.
my hot
It
take for
doesn't
this
change
episode
anything though going
is
forward.
it
That's
doesn't
my
change
issue.
anything.
Yeah, it's like
Well,
what was the point? She's over. She gets over it 5 minutes later. So it's like, so what?
It's
was
like, yes, the
It's amazing, by the way.
biggest change to like the origin of the Doctor that adds absolutely nothing at all.
Yeah.
Well-
I don't get it.
It adds Ruth.
Great.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah,
I genuinely really
she
like
is
her.
good. She is good, but like,
Yeah.
where are you from, Ruth? Like,
Gloucester.
any explanation, please?
Doesn't have the
Chris?
answers to those questions.
Why have you got a TARDIS, Ruth? Why are you called a Doctor, Ruth?
She's from Gloucester.
She's from Gloucester. She does tours.
Yeah.
She,
So-
Doctor from Gloucester.
she speaks to the duck, I think, at some point.
Yeah. There's a couple of
An
lines.
old woman that gets incinerated.
There's a couple of lines spoken by the Master in this episode, which I think the Missy arc from Series 10 is one of my favourite things they've done with the Master.
That is a good
And everything like a lot of the things said by the Master in this episode just fuck you,
Done it.
Chibnall, fuck you. There's a bit where the Master says take my hand and the Doctor says never, and like that is what the Doctor spends all of Series 10 like asking the Master to do.
To be fair, Tumblr probably went wild when that happened. Oh, they're going to fuck. No.
And then later the master says, "We both know." Like the says, "I believe you're appealing to my better nature," which we both know I don't have. It's like,
I like
You
that.
literally just did.
you do.
Do you know what I thought would have
You
been
spent
cool?
series 10
Well, no.
proving you have one.
I thought it would have been cool, but I also would have hated it because of what I'm about to say. But I thought if he kills the Doctor there and then, yeah, which obviously bad, but I'd like to see it where he kept his word and he went and saved the companions. You know, that would have been quite interesting. But obviously, big sacrifice for that scene to happen. I've got a few good quotes from the Master for this episode. I quite like the bit where he admitted that he thought the death particle would kill him when he
the
shrank
death
it.
particle. Right.
Listen, lad.
God,
This is where my biggest issue with the episode is, and it's not to do with the canon or anything like that. It's just mainly down to like what was that? It's when the lone Cyberman reveals he has this really powerful weapon to the Master, who he doesn't trust, and then tells him exactly what it'll do, and he's like, "Look, I've got it, and it can be activated." And it's just like, so you knew he was going to betray you then, because, like, I don't. Why did he tell him that? He clearly doesn't trust him. It just makes no sense.
I didn't get the sense that he didn't trust him. 'Cause he seemed very trusting.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he seemed to trust him to me.
I think he was just like questioning him.
The moment they meet in the room, they seem to have a good rapport with each other, and then when they
I suppose because they're batshit insane, though.
Yeah, when they come face to face, they seem to agree on a lot of things, and they tell each other a lot of things from the off. He starts spitballing about the Cybermen, and then they get on the ship to like execute the idea, and the Master executes him instead. Thank you.
What was the point in Ashad then?
Because he was good. He was a good.
He was good, but
the Master's better.
Nice.
He's dead.
To quote the Master, I mean, it's good, but it's not great.
That's what he said.
The Master's better than Ashad. So, Ashad's dead. Twice dead, I guess.
There's a bit in this episode where the Master quotes the poem Ozymandias by Percy Shelley.
Oh,
does he?
Look upon my work and despair.
Yeah, and the way in the context that the Master quotes it made me realise that Chris Chibnall does not understand the poem Ozymandias.
No, I remember studying this thing at school. Anyway. It's not got anything to do with that scene.
So that line it's about how like this old king was like, look at all the great shit I've done, and it's written on a thing on the bottom of a broken statue of him. But when you look around the statue, there's nothing but like deserts, and time has consumed his whole empire. And the point of the line is like the hubris of this king who thought he could like outlast time. But the Master just says it because he thinks the thing he's done is cool.
The Master outlasted the Time Lords.
Great.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
So clearly, Chris Chibnall just thought
this in time.
Clearly, Chibnall just thought that was a cool line because Chris Chibnall is a hack.
To be fair, I thought that was a cool line when he said it. I got the tingles. If that's an expression.
Because it is an amazing poem, and it's a great line from that poem, but it's not. This isn't the place to use it.
Yeah, but the Master's the Master, so.
Great explanation.
Well, no, not that. What I mean,
he's insane, Dan. He's insane. He's just insane.
Yeah, that.
Alright, it's fine. That's his character trait.
That's not what I mean either. I mean, the Master's obviously twisting the meaning.
I don't think Chibnall thought about it that much.
He's just a retard. He just
but I've thought about this episode. I've put more hours into this episode than Chris Chibnall.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I believe
because of what happens in Haunting of
Villa Diodati.
episode previous,
Yeah,
the
that's it.
one with Percy Shelley in, it's sort of like a, look, you tried to save this man, and now I'm using his words against you, haha! And it's ironic?
Is it?
Oh, I do like that, but no.
There's a hint of irony in there,
with
if
the
you think
master
about it
now.
that way.
Yeah.
Because the Master's got the Cyberium in him.
No, not at that point he didn't.
He doesn't have that one, does he?
Nah.
Shall we talk about what this episode?
Yeah, the timeless elephant in the room.
The big bits. Yeah.
Yeah. I have explanations for most of this, by the way.
Okay, I can't wait to hear
Give them at the end.
I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Wow.
So this episode reveals that the Doctor is not Gallifreyan, but in fact a weird little child someone found outside a space portal. And as putting a pin in this, I'm not looking forward to what that means for Series 13, but we'll get onto that later. Yeah, so he's a weird little child from a space portal, and is also where the Time Lord's got all the regenerations from.
So
I hate it. I don't like
argue,
it.
Dan. Yeah.
Oh, he's
dislike
just falling
it.
over. He's dressed like
Dislike-
Burglar Bill.
I dislike this episode.
Lad, I was just thinking about Burglar Bill yesterday.
I dislike this aspect of Doctor Who.
Okay, Burglar Bill.
That entire bit was redundant because it's audio, not visual.
I was just trying to get as far away from the microphone as possible.
So, my explanation, yeah, for one part of this. So, everyone's like, why is the Doctor and the Time Lords all have two hearts? Well, obviously, the Timeless Child had two hearts. And then, Tech-Tayun spliced the genetics of the Timeless Child with Shobogans. And then the Shobogans regenerated and gained the same biology. Like, so they'd also have two hearts. And then in the far future, with the Time Lords, none of them knew about this, so everyone just has two hearts. Like, and can regenerate when they do the time vortex. When they go to the academy. Whereas it's never stated that anyone, anyone born of a Time Lord will also have two hearts after that. They say that in the episode. That it's spliced into the genetics for the future Gallifreyans to inherit. So everyone from that point will be born with two hearts. But then regular Shobogans just can't regenerate because you've got to go to the academy for that. So, like the Sisterhood of Khan can't regenerate, but they've mastered the art of regeneration, like the Secret. So
It's this reveal is. It feels like Doctor Who's midichlorians.
listen,
That's not a bad comparison, actually.
this is nowhere near as shit as the prequels.
No, but it's something that demystifies something that A doesn't need to be and was better when it wasn't. It offers an explanation that is.
Cameron just looks very smug. I don't know.
What have you got to
look in the
say,
meme
Cameron?
chat. I'm just laughing at the memes chat.
What's he saying?
It's a picture of him with some treasures on.
It's a picture of Cameron not looking very smug. The other explanation is people say the Doctor has infinite regenerations, but the Doctor doesn't.
But that's explained in the episode. That's not.
They managed to limit this child's genetic ability.
Yeah.
They didn't do it to the Timeless Child. Because he/she still had infinite ones. But when you so when you go to them, when you become a Time Lord, it says they put the limit of 13 on you. But the Timeless Child never became a Time Lord because it was the foundation of Time Lord society. But then the Doctor became a Time Lord, and they put the regeneration limit on the Doctor unknowingly. They didn't know that he already had regenerations. So that's why Smith still runs out of regenerations.
It's quite a big grey area, though. You can
give him
see why people get
a new
confused.
cycle.
Yeah.
I've put many hours into this.
I'm just going to throw out one thing that I don't like. It's not about canon or anything like that. It's specifically just how it was executed again. When we see the montage of this innocent child being experimented on, and they're just kind of sat there looking a bit gormless, just looking a bit bored.
Kids are gormless though. Kids are proper like.
What I'm saying is they could have got a hell of a lot more drama out of that idea. Instead, they just kind of pan really quickly around this kid just changing, looking a bit bored.
If they showed it in agony, they got the backlash that Ash had killing Mary Shelley's kid. Would have got.
Would they?
Yes, because they're killing kids too. They'd be like a
timeless child being experimented
at 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. or whatever.
I just think that's where he should have got the drama from more than just like, why would they lie?
Yeah, I think what you're saying about the like issues are not with canon, like with this episode, is a good point. Like, none of the things that changes about canon, or the fact that it doesn't really work, are the things I care about when it comes to this. It's the fact that it's poorly written, and I don't think Chibnall understands what makes Doctor Who good.
I think
he's no Russell T Davies or Stephen Moffat.
There's definitely room for the timeless child idea somewhere in the Doctor Who universe, but the way it was executed and the way that he fit it in just didn't go for me.
Because it was just a terrible episode of television. It was 70 minutes of people sitting around going.
70 minutes.
It was 66 minutes.
65 minutes, isn't it?
Oh, well, iPlayer said it was 66.
Hey,
it was
hey. No matter how bad you think it is, it's not as bad as Hellbent.
There's nothing wrong with Hellbent.
You think it's worse than Hellbent?
I think Hellbent is a fine episode.
I think
Hellbent, the one where he punches the diamond.
No, that's Heaven Sent. That is quality. Oh, we'll have to do Hellbent at some point soon then, because I have feelings.
Heaven Sent makes the Timeless Children look like a 1 out of 10.
That's because it is.
Just because it is.
Hey.
The Timeless Children is like a 7 out of 10.
High five through the screen. Nice.
I like how Dan done it, but other Dan. Wait, I like how Free Cheese done it, but Dan doesn't have a camera.
Well, I trust Dan enough.
I hope he's done it, otherwise we'll all go round your house, Dan.
This episode. Well, wait. Here's the thing. Apparently, this is an idea Chibnall has been trying to put into Doctor Who for a very long time.
What?
But, apparently he's been trying to get this through, and Moffat and Davies have rejected it.
Poo-pooed the idea.
Yeah, continually rejected it. Yeah. It feels like it's just so he can get his weird little fan theory about the Mobius Doctor.
I did not know about that at all, and it's changed my view on Chibnall, because I thought the reason I thought his era it's not been for me is because I thought he's not had an idea since he was younger and worked on it until he managed to get this job. I feel like he got the job and then he just thought, well, I'll just do this. I
was told the other day, Don, that Moffat offered Chibnall the role in 2016, and he was like, "Oh no, I'm too busy now." And Moffat went, "It's all right, I'll wait." So he had an extra 2 years to come up with this idea because he knew he'd have the job.
The way this is executed, I think I could tell what kind of person Chris Chibnall was as a teenager.
Yeah,
and it's just a dickhead. I think he was I think it was annoying dickhead teenager. Like the kind of person who was obsessed with.
Are you saying that because you saw the Pip and Jane Baker video?
I think that backs up my theory a lot.
Poor.
Who do we know that has bad Doctor Who takes that he wants put in the show?
not even bad Doctor Who takes. Just someone who is like, well, I know more about the history of the show than you do.
It was a bit more routine Doctor Who.
Because you made it up.
Yeah,
it wasn't very challenging, and then he writes this. Come on.
Yeah, knowing the history of Doctor Who. There are a lot of callbacks in this to classic Who sort of things, like they hide in the Cybermen, similar to how Ian does in the first Dalek story.
Yeah.
They reference the Deadly Assassin.
Yep.
It's like there's the
Cyberman design.
I murdered someone in there.
And it was also a lot of
The Cyberman design also
entire
looks
thing-
very classic series,
Yeah, that as well. And
but better.
then also the entire thing with the Matrix revealing something that may not be true is lifted straight out of Trial of a Time Lord, where the Master manipulated the Matrix to frame the Doctor.
Well,
Maybe they've done it again.
You have seen Doctor Who.
It does it better, I think. I love Trial of the Time Lord, but I know it's not.
Oh, it's brilliant. I watched it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a lot of the Master standing and pointing. And do you remember when a better episode happened over there?
And then it cuts to Ainley on that Skype call in the Time
Oh,
Lord
he's
ship.
he's doing an isolation Zoom call from the grave.
There we go.
Can you imagine if Moffat let Chibnall do that? You're just watching dinosaurs on a spaceship, and Brian's like, "Oh no, me balls," and then he's like, "Me tennis balls," and the Doctor's like, "I've got infinite regeneration."
I forgot about that joke.
Just out of nowhere. That's classic Brian. That how could you forget?
Oh, classic Brian.
See,
Love Brian.
were you surprised about how this, like, because we're talking about how it was executed, not like they've destroyed it. I mean, like how it translated to screen. Do you think? Are you surprised given what you thought of his previous penned episodes, like 42 and Power of 3 and stuff?
Well, 42 is neither here nor there. It's perfectly okay. Then the Silurian episodes, I haven't missed any there, have I? Just goes 42 and then them.
Yeah.
They're pretty good episodes.
Definitely.
Like series 5.
They're enjoyable episodes. They're some of his better work, I would say.
There's that weird bit. Do you know where they wave at Amy and Rory over the road? And like, why are they there? But like, you know that bit?
Them from the future, but then when they do leave, she's not got.
But them from the future, but they're dead.
Yeah, them from the future, except they're not in the future.
Then I like dinosaurs on a spaceship and the Power of 3.
Power
That's a rough
3.
standing,
Power
but it's
3
alright.
is so interesting until the last
It's
5
so
minutes.
fun.
Yes.
And then you
Yeah,
realise that none of the stuff in it is actually used or makes sense or...
Power 3 should have been a two-parter.
It's become a recurring thing with Chibnall's era.
My favourite
What was
thing,
with that girl in the hospital? What was she
Really
doing?
good episode up until the last 5 minutes.
My favourite thing in the Power
Murdering
of
people.
3 is when they go, "Oh, that's the Shirachri," and he just points at some bollockhead and he just looks at them and then he fucks off.
Darth Vader. It's
Yeah,
Darth
he
Vader.
does look like Darth
It's
Vader.
Darth Vader in,
does.
Maths teacher had a
Return
poster
to
for the
Jedi.
Power of 3 in his classroom.
Yeah.
Of course, that makes so much
Because it was the Power of 3. It is 3 of them, so you times it by 3. Literally, no other reason, just the episode poster of the
Also,
Rory,
though-
Amy, and the Doctor holding the cube saying 3.
Also, though, the 3 means cubed, and it's like, got cubes, you know?
Congratulations.
Pretty
Congratulations.
much why my maths teacher had.
I done
Hey,
GCSE
you've-
maths.
Congratulations, Paul. You've figured out what the point of the title of the episode was.
Someone told me that, I didn't even figure it out.
Yeah, I think I've said everything.
They
I
say
can-
it at the end of the episode.
Oh,
I think I've said
Shut-
everything
shut
I
up.
can conjure up about timeless children.
my mate. So the Timeless Children, yeah. Remember, it was teased in series 11.
I would hardly
Well,
call that teaser.
My mate.
Oh, by
after
the
that
flying
episode,
cloths.
Yes.
the remnants, actually, Cameron. If you're
Flying cloths.
not gonna take it seriously, get out.
Fine.
Oh, listen, the remnants are shit. Remember you got Tim Shaw in the first episode, yeah? And then the remnants mentioned the Stenza, and then fuck all until the last episode when he shows up again. And Chibnall
that
was like,
finale is
that was a great arc from me, that.
It's a
But I digress. So, the remnants. Oh, yeah, they mentioned the Timeless Child, yeah. The lie of the Timeless Child. And then my mate, Matthew, who's sent in like a thing for us to read later, yeah. My mate Matthew went to me on like a voice call afterwards. He went, "Bet you it's the Doctor." And I was like, "Yeah, probably." I was thinking maybe it's Susan, but of course, nothing that interesting would happen. Yeah, it's the Doctor. Everything's the Doctor. Should have been the Master, but it's the Doctor.
Because the Doctor is Space Jesus now, and what's the point?
Yeah, most important being in the universe. There is no other person of significance in the Doctor Who universe.
Yeah,
anymore.
it's
I reckon the face of both should just headbutt her.
yeah.
That's not fucking big headbutts.
This episode has changed the Doctor from someone who was defined by the things they did and the choices they made
To be fair,
to someone who's defined by who they were born as.
Yeah, they were
which
born
is-
that way.
Yeah, and it's their destiny and their space Jesus,
to be fair,
and they're from another universe, and that's what I hate most about this episode.
to be fair, it doesn't really change the Doctor though, because the Doctor's still just someone who didn't know they were anyone, who left the planet and then done great things, and then of their own accord, and then became a hero that's well known throughout the galaxy.
Oh yeah, well,
None of that's to
good
do with
point.
them being space
good
Jesus.
point. Good point. To which I would say, why reveal any of this then if it doesn't change anything?
I've got a good example for you. So, Jesus is actual Jesus. No, wait. Hear me out. Jesus is actual Jesus, yeah. Superpowers and that. Yeah.
Big JC.
Just like the timeless child. But then the Doctor is more like Paul Rudd, who's also a child of God, who made his own path to be the biggest legend ever. So basically, the timeless child's Jesus, but the Doctor's Paul Rudd. Yeah. Do you get it? It's a good analogy, that I feel. We all love Paul Rudd.
That was certainly a collection of words.
We all love Paul Rudd.
Right.
I love
Don't we
Paul
agree?
Rudd.
This is getting
See?
caught.
Cameron,
Okay.
do you love Paul Rudd?
Have to now get us to agree with your statement because we all love Paul Rudd.
We all
That
love
isn't how that
Paul
works.
Rudd.
That's
So
extortion.
we do all love Paul Rudd. Yeah. Are any of us religious? No.
No.
Really anymore?
No. Right. So none of us are religious. We all love Paul Rudd. We all like the Doctor. We don't like the timeless child. Paul Rudd and the Doctor, like one being. You get me?
We now get Paul Rudd to play the Doctor.
Here's
No, because he's American. That's the one thing Paul Rudd can't do.
Racist!
another
It's not
thing.
xenophobic.
Yeah, come on, back to the topic.
Here's another thing. This episode ends Ryan's arc of learning
Being
to
able
throw a ball.
Throw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I have
curing
that
his
noted down.
dyspraxia.
He
Yeah,
cures his
well,
dyspraxia
not cured.
by
He's
throwing
still
a
got
ball.
it.
I
That's
wrote his
something down
season
about
arc.
Yeah, to anyone who hasn't seen Series 11,
Season.
this. Well, that's his
the
Tim
only
Shaw
arc he
arc, where
gets
it's
in this
mentioned
is
twice.
throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that was in
and he-
Series 12. It was in Spyfall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The basketball bit at the start,
Yeah.
and then there's this now, and that was it, wasn't it?
It's weird because the act
Why he
like
refers
a
to the
small ball.
Bomb as basketball, though.
What?
But the reason
When
they
he
do
throws the
that
bomb,
is
it's like,
because
oh yes, in the hoop.
Yeah,
Like,
he says in
In
it's
the
the
hoop
because-
is a 500-yard field.
he says in the
With a
hoop.
fucking massive bomb, it would have killed them if you threw it in the opposite fucking direction.
Yeah, the difference between the basketball and the bomb, I'd say, is the hoop's quite high up and it's a very specific target. But if he got that maybe a metre to the left, it still would have killed them.
Yeah.
That his hoop was basically anywhere near them.
It's
Yeah, just on the side of this little gully.
That bit of area there's the hoop, that big road.
What else have you got more notes?
I've got many.
I've got one. I think
Graham gets a really bad deal out of this series.
Graham has
Like,
one of the best
in
scenes in this
Graham.
episode.
no, he does not.
Is it the
Yeah,
bit
but
where
we
they
get-
pretend that him and Yaz have got on-screen?
It is that
Yes,
bit,
no,
yeah.
I've got to know about that.
Yeah.
It brought
there is
a tear
that
to
as
my
well.
eye when I watched it earlier.
The
But-
Yaz that he's describing in that scene is one we have never
Want to
met.
see?
I'd argue it's
Well, I would like to see,
probably,
but one we have never met.
That's
probably
the Yaz
the
in my
Yaz
head
from the
canon.
comics. It's probably the Yaz from all the good adventures they don't show us.
Like the
Oh,
tentacle one.
I'm glad that all the good adventures are ones we didn't see on screen.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you've
Don't
got
worry,
to have
they'll
something
tell
in your
us
back
about
pocket. What about? I like when he says, "I'm gonna sound like." Do you want me to do a Bradley Walsh impression?
You're gonna do it anyway. So
Go on then.
Wait there. I'm gonna sound. Wait there. That isn't it. That isn't it.
I know.
I'm gonna sound like a proper old man. but you're
Just
doing your
sounds like
family
you.
proud, yes.
It just sounds like you.
You've not put a voice on.
Do you know how hard a Cockney accent is?
Yeah,
Oh, there is another bit.
especially if
So
you've got a
don't do it.
really strong Scouse accent on top of it.
But I've got to channel me Ben Mitchell to do
There
this.
we go. Yeah, here we go.
I could just do like a Michael Caine, couldn't I? I'm gonna sound like
Do something.
I can't do it.
Now you listen to
Don't
me,
do it.
yeah.
All right then.
Don't
Listen
do
to
it.
me.
then.
Yasmin Carp. You? I can't remember the quote.
I'm gonna sound like a proper old man now,
You're
right?
not such a bad human.
No, that is a good
That
line.
bit is why
From a
he
writing
gets a
perspective.
very bad deal out of this series.
Yeah.
Remember that bit where he plays cards with the midget, the small person?
Yeah, but the one where he gets the cancer scare,
Oh.
like he's scared his cancer might return earlier on in the series, and the doctor's just like, I don't know what to say here, so I'm just gonna stand over here and type on my computer.
No, she tells us she's socially awkward. You know where
What
every
if-
other doctor we've
Yeah.
seen them be like that, but they're still caring for their friends.
Do something.
Do you know the way
Yeah.
Chibnall's arcs are always, like, not really hinted at, but it's there? Yeah. Well, what if the next series, they're like, you know how Tech Tayun could just make someone into the Time Lord? The Doctor cures Graham's cancer by making him a Time Lord, and then the kickstart the chase race for Gallifrey. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
just screened
new-
the chase from the 60s.
a new species of Gallifreyans.
We just watch all episodes of
Bradley
the
Walsh.
chase, and then we watch the Doctor Who serial, The Chase.
I haven't seen
Mechanoid
it.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, scared about
Fuck
his cancer
Gallif-
returning and gets no help with it, and then he pours his heart out to Yaz, and then Yaz is just like, it's not a bad human. And apparently
That's a
Yorkshire love
love
letter.
letter from Leeds, apparently.
Sheffield. Right. My
Sheffield,
family come
sorry.
from Barnsley, which is just north of Sheffield. And I have had conversations with people from that area of Yorkshire. Love letter does not sound like that. If you show affection to someone, it normally involves the word dickhead. I know you can't get away with on 7 o'clock viewing on the BBC, but all right human is not a phrase ever used in that area of Yorkshire.
If she was writing him a love letter, and we know from past episodes of Doctor Who you can say arse from one episode.
Oh, you're an arse. Yeah,
maybe.
that's a term of affection
So
as
she
well.
could have went, Graham, you'd have a nice arse. Go out and get a bed.
That
And then,
Ravioli's giving you the dodgy eye.
yeah, and then Ravio, who created Angry Birds, I assume, in the canon of Doctor Who, comes out, and she's like, hey, Graham, lad, you're a bit of me, you know, and let's move into this TARDIS house and have some kid. I know you passed it, but I'm a few thousand years into the future, so why don't we just make another Ethan, if Ethan's my kid, which he might not be. You know what I mean? The ramblings of a
No.
madman. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this
I was just
these two
spitballing.
episodes made me realise I could not tell you why the Doctor is friends with any of these people.
Yeah. Well, she just doesn't like being alone.
I know, but like there's nothing between any of them. I don't believe these
Well,
people are friends.
I think Ryan and Yaz seem like friends.
I don't
There's
think
that
they've
bit
ever
where
had a
he, like,
meaningful
went to school
conversation on the
together.
show.
It's like, hi Yaz, I'm gonna shag your sister. And Yaz is like, oh, I'm not happy about that.
What a
go
great
and try the
character
Doctor.
building moment.
No, do you know that scene, yeah? His sister says to Yaz, yeah, give him me number. And Yaz is like, no. And then, or something like that. And then a bit later on, Ryan's like, does she still want me number or something? And Yaz was like, yeah. And I thought, well, Ryan, you're a grown man. You know that she likes you. Go and ask her out. What the fuck's wrong with you? It's a sure thing for you, Ryan.
I think my last thought about this
That could have
episode.
been the shot that he landed, like the basketball shot.
I think my last thought about this episode, and I think what sums up Chibnall's era
Chibnall's
as a whole.
area. Oh.
Yes, Chibnall's area.
Chibnall's area as a whole.
Which
The chip space. The chip
Fish and
zone.
Chibs.
It's like Deep Space, but with more Chibnall.
Yeah, there are 7 when they go to Gallifrey, there are 7 characters who walk through that portal, and I could not tell you a single thing about any of them.
Yaz is a
all.
police officer.
Oh, is she? Because are you
He's
sure?
fucking stupid.
Does Ryan still just like YouTube channel?
Are you,
Ah,
like,
lad.
don't know.
are you
Subscribe
sure
to
she's
that.
a police officer? Because I don't think the show remembers that.
Do you know there's someone made Ryan's YouTube channel? Yeah, real.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I remember you mentioned this.
They uploaded the only 2 videos in the wrong order. Like, you'd have one job. It's got like 2 million subscribers, and I'm 3 of them.
Yeah,
So,
I think.
I've got
Oh, go on.
a quote from before they start talking about the timeless child between the Doctor and the Master. And the Doctor says, "Do you really think I would believe anything that comes out of your mouth?" By the end of
And
the
then she
episode,
does.
she believes what comes out of his mouth.
Yeah.
What? The 13th Doctor? Inconsistent? Huh?
Oh, right.
The Peter
And
Davison
also,
of
on
her
the
fine. No offense, Peter.
on the cyber ship, when the 4 humans hide in the cyber suits, the Cyberium is meant to be this hyper-intelligent and aware glob of
Yeah.
metal that floats inside a Two-Face.
Cyberspunk.
Can't
I doubt-
detect.
it doesn't even have eyes. I doubt it can see through fucking walls.
Imagine if it had, like, googly eyes.
It has Cybermen have
I'm gonna make that now.
ways of detecting humans. It can't detect 4 humans right in front of its face. There's probably about that much distance between them. I'm using a visual key here, which is shit for listeners, and it can't detect them. And then a warning goes off or something saying they're about to crash into a penis tower in Gallifrey, and he just
Yes,
walks
old
off.
Rassilon's
Just
penis
shoot
tower.
all of the Cybermen that you come across. They are then dead, and your enemy are also dead.
No, that
I
makes
once,
too much sense.
I walked past the stop, like a crossing the road sign by a Mackey's by my house a couple of years ago, and someone had fucking stuck googly eyes on it. One of them fell off by the time I got to it to take the picture.
Do we have anything else to add
Yeah,
about this episode? Oh,
that Gallifrey
no.
time lapse is sexy.
that was a good bit. That was a nice.
That was a really nice shot. Yeah,
That was a really good bit.
Oh, the
Yeah, I feel
cinematography
happy
in these 2
briefly.
episodes is fantastic.
in places.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Just got small bits that
Fantastic.
I noticed around. Like, the Master says once upon several times, as if this has happened multiple times before, when talking about the timeless child, but it only happens once to our knowledge, so that would only be once upon a time.
Well, once upon a time, but there's multiple children, so I don't know what goes through Chibnall's mind when he writes. However,
The Tecteon travels in space and can implant a genetic code into Time Lords that lets them be able to regenerate.
well,
Yet she still counts
Shobocast.
on an abacus.
Oh, lad, I wrote that down too. How the fuck
Is
does she do it?
space travel abacus with the little
An
beads
abacus is
on.
barely good for counting, because you can only
I
get
know.
it to 10. She must have had 13 beads and went, 13 regenerations then. And they were like, Tecteon, you really are a prophet. But you know Paul Rudd. So, I really like the line when the 13th Doctor tells them to live great lives. She just looks dead upset. I think that's...
Yeah, they already did it though in Series 1 finale.
It got me right there. Probably just hit the mic when I done that, sorry. But it was very emotional.
It was lifted though.
It was very much from
done as
2005.
Yeah, I can't...
It's not as well done as that, but like, it's still pretty good.
It's
I
the
also
same
hate-
thing, but not as good. I just don't get
I hate
the
that
appeal.
there's just a TARDIS on Earth.
I like that. It will just grow old.
That's classic Chibnall ignoring Moffat, that. Moffat says the exterior will leak out. The interior will leak out into the exterior until it's so big it'll dwarf a planet or whatever. Russell T Davies said, just leave it there and it'll gather dust. And then Moffat just ignores... Chibnall just ignores Moffat again. As per. Like, with the Master being dead and Gallifrey being back, he was just like, nope, gone. The disrespect to Moffat, like... Surprised he sleeps at night. I'd just be like, fucking bastard. At it again, ruining my canon that I made. What next? Clara's a man? I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
Okay.
What else could he change? Missy's the Rani. He probably fucking would do that. She'd just be like, "Lol, I was joking."
It seems very gun-ho and weapon heavy in this one as well for someone who's not meant to like weapons. It's just like, in Ascension, it's like, what weapons do you have? And then in this one, it's just like, they turn up and it's like, if it helps, we have explosives. And it's like, good. You're not meant to like weapons.
What weapons
You
do we
deliberately
have?
call your...
We have 2 guns and one of them doesn't work. Why have you got the other one still?
One gun then.
Why have you still got the other one?
What?
Why did you tell me about the gun that doesn't work? Why did you say 2 guns? That's like saying, oh yeah, there's 8 people here, but 2 of them are dead. Oh, there's not 8 people then. Anyway, that's those 2 episodes done.
Good. I feel so drained just thinking about them.
I quite like
I've got nothing else to add.
Talking about that finale.
They're a very good exit for the Cybermen reused at another point where you just hear the Master shouting, "All of you through here now!"
Yeah, right before the explosion. Yeah.
Explosion goes off.
Oh.
And why are the
if you still have
Cybermasters,
to-
which could have been called Cyberlords,
Cyber
frowning?
Better name. Well, because
They were sad.
yeah. Just like Chibnall as a teenager when he had no mates.
Yeah.
Nah, he probably had one.
And
But,
no. Why have Jack foreshadow the lone Cyberman and then not having appear in any of the stories with the lone Cyberman?
because
seen the
it's
catalyst?
leading up to what happens.
Have you seen possible spoilers for Revolution of the Daleks? Apparently, John Barrowman's on the cast list for that.
Yeah.
As well as other really weirdly specific people as well. So it's like
When
it's a bit too
John Barrowman,
specific.
do you know John
It's
Barrowman
because-
when he said he said he was painting his flat in Cardiff or whatever, and and that's when he filmed the scenes for Doctor Who,
Yeah.
like under the radar. Well,
There are apparently
those
bits where he
dates
was-
don't line up because apparently the dates where he was at that flat were the dates when they were filming the Christmas special, and not the dates when they were filming Fugitive.
I think, yeah.
So he
Revelation
basically isn't
of the
in
Daleks was
Revelation.
filmed in bits of it in Bristol, and there was a behind-the-scenes thing they released on the YouTube channel where they're doing like Chubby Bunny or something,
What?
which is filmed. Look it up. It's a thing. It
What
came
the
out
fuck's
at
Chubby
the end
Bunny?
of the. It's where you
Are
put
we doing the
marshmallows in the mouth
fairy
and say Chubby
episodes
Bunny.
now?
And so those behind-the-scene bits between the cast were
Internet
filmed
connection.
at the Bristol studio, and John Barrowman is in the background there, and you can hear him apparently shout, "Go on, Jodie!"
Cameron cut out almost entirely for me then. Did you say
No,
that?
I heard it.
We won't tell you. He can never know.
Because I cut out, it's gone again.
If it's on Dan's recording, it'll be fine.
It's on my recording.
Right.
Yeah.
Sound.
So
Oh, good. Do we have any trivia for this episode then?
No.
I looked and there wasn't really
And
much.
Ascension?
Let me think.
Only bit I've got for Ascension is Julie Graham, who played Ravio, was also in the episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures Goodbye Sarah Jane, where she plays Ruby White, who is the woman with the giant stomach in her
Classic.
Cellar.
She's the
got the word.
BTEC Sarah Jane.
Fast Carter and yeah.
Uh,
Well, she's not. She's supposed to be like a bit flashier and a bit better.
Yeah. She's
That's
meant to
like-
be like the replacement.
Pretty sad.
oh yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
made another series that they didn't finish because she died.
Yeah, and for Timeless Children, the overnight viewing figures on the BBC, I don't know if this is overnight or just the episode, so it gets, once it finished, this is how many watched it, had 4.7 million views, which is the lowest for any series final since 2005's revival.
Mm.
And Andrew Cartmel, who is famous for the Cartmel Master Plan, where he wants to make the Doctor the Other, who was the founder of Time Lord,
Yeah, we could do a whole episode.
Society.
Like, mental.
said he depletes the mystery of Doctor Who.
That's
Yeah,
him saying.
Right.
So the person who wanted to do something similar said it
It's
depletes the mystery.
really something when you've got like Cartmel saying that.
But the thing is, it doesn't.
You
it just
fucked
doesn't
it
do
when he says
anything
that.
Going forward,
So-
I don't understand
What
where
was
they
that?
can go with it. That will be interesting.
They're not going to go anywhere with it. Unless they
Oh,
just
they
have
better.
doctors showing up every episode.
But you know,
You could bring in the unbound doctors if they wouldn't. They could though.
they want to get new viewers in. That's why they'll be ditching 2 companions. Is they've probably realised, okay, this many companions doesn't work. We're trying to get
It's too
viewers on
much,
board
yeah.
now. Let's try and do something a bit simpler.
Yeah, they've got rid of 2 companions and now they're bringing Jack back. So there'll be 2 companions.
Want to see
again.
Jack back as a full companion?
I don't think he's here to stay.
He'll be here for a couple of episodes and then he'll go.
Yeah.
I reckon if Jack came back on a semi-permanent basis, sort of like the Brigadier in the classic series, sort of like, we need a bit more help with this one, oh look, here's Jack, we'll just call him up sort of thing. But not used to the extent where it's he's a Deus Ex Machina and is just there to save the day. And we have a problem, Jack will solve it sort of thing, but semi-regular?
Yeah, maybe. Chibnall
Any of
does
that
have a
make
lot of
sense?
love for Torchwood though. Because he wrote for it and he was the show sorry, hiccups. And he was the showrunner for 2 series. So that explains why he wanted to bring Jack back so bad.
And I think John Barrowman just wanted to do it.
Oh, John Barrowman had come anytime you want.
Yeah, John Barron absolutely loves appearing on Doctor Who, which fair enough.
During the watch-alongs, he had like a vortex manipulator on and everything. Had a fucking Dalek in his room. Like, come on, John, you're absolute legend.
Can't see it, but I do have a vortex manipulator somewhere on the shelf behind me.
Should we do the viewers' thoughts?
I think we should. Yeah.
Go on then.
Should we go
So
back
I've
and forth with them because I've got them all up on my phone.
I've got the ones off that I've got off me mates.
Okay.
So my mate Matthew, who predicted who the Timeless Child was, because it was kind of like, who else would it be? Yeah. Thank you, Chibnall. He said, so I sent him the thumbnail and said, thoughts on these for the podcast, meaning the episodes. And he said, nice. And I was like, no, I meant the episodes, not the thumbnail. So then he said,
nice.
Yeah. So then he said, Ascension of the Cybermen is, in my opinion, a watered-down version of Age of Steel. And the warfare aspect is something that makes it more unique overall. But it is still relatively lacking. Half of the episode is dominated by Brendan's story, which was interesting, although little else was gripping enough. Then he said, then along came the Timeless Children with numerous redeeming qualities, the best Cyberman design by a mile, and another stunning performance by Sacha Dhawan. However, the storytelling of the episode was absolutely abysmal. as the Doctor's character is essentially written for a cheap, meaningless twist that makes her this deity all of a sudden. Thank you, Matthew.
That seems to be the most popular opinion on it, isn't it? I'd say I'm a bit of both. Like, I agree that there's stuff I liked, but I don't think this series, or maybe even this era, is for me in terms of how they do stuff.
Yeah,
which is a shame, but you know.
What about, well, then my mate Ed, he said Ascension is a bit disjointed, the Brendan stuff isn't interesting. What? Sorry, no, he corrected himself later. He said the Brendan stuff is interesting, but not integrated at all. Ashad is the best villain in ages. Decent part 1, and if part 2 could have built... and decent part 1 if part 2 could have built upon it. The Timeless Children is a great episode for the Master, but gives the Doctor absolutely nothing to do. Jodie is great, but the Doctor stands there, or the Master talks. I actually don't mind the revelation, depending on what Chibs does with it. But the episode actually goes out of its way to tell it's meaningless, and it doesn't affect the plot. It doesn't affect the Doctor at all. One of the worst finales, in my opinion, but the Cybermasters are fucking cool, so it gets points for that. We didn't even talk about the Cybermasters. 10 out of 10.
Just with your...
They're a cool design, but they don't do anything, and like I said,
yeah,
their
they stand
armor is completely pointless when you realise how weak it is.
Chibnall came out the best Cyberman designs ever in these 2 episodes.
He didn't design them, did he? A designer designed
them. Well, no, but you know what I mean. He also came out with one of the best Dalek designs.
Draw him.
Yeah. I like the revelation.
But just with how you mentioned Ashad is a brilliant villain, can the next time we have a Master or Cyberman storyline not have the other one in it? Like, out of the last 5 series finals, 3 of them have been the Master with the Cybermen as their drone army. Yeah, basically every other.
Series 8, Series 10, Series 12 as well now.
Can
really
they stop doing that and let them be themselves?
I think a brilliant story. There's been a lot of good Cybermen stories, like featuring the Cybermen, but I think a good Cybermen episode is yet to be told in New Who.
Yeah.
What?
No, I agree with that.
No, there's been good episodes with the Cybermen in it, but
as the main
an episode about
as the main antagonist, we've yet to have a solid.
Steel. And
I'd say that was John Lumic, though. That's John Lumic and the Parallel World are like the main threats there, not actually the Cybermen.
Oh, it's Age of Steel and Rise of the Cybermen, isn't it? Like the other part.
Yeah, it's. Yeah.
What about the next Doctor?
That's not.
That's cringe.
Yes.
Cyber King.
I like that episode.
It's not it's fine, but it's not about Cybermen, is it?
They really wasted the idea of cyber shades and taking people's pets and turning them into Cybermen. That was interesting. But just didn't
cyber shades are just Cybermen.
They're never seen they're never seen again, though. Like they could have been used in an episode about a cyber war.
It's weird that they're made out of like a dog or cat, but it looks like a fucking gorilla or something. Like, what's going on there?
I mean, it looks like an actor running around on the floor.
Well, it does.
Like, World Enough and Time and the Doctor Falls are 2 of my favourite episodes.
They're good
like
episodes. Ever. Like, really great.
Like, in terms of... Like, this is like... The Cybermen are just... The
Cybermen are just there.
Yeah. Although some of the build stuff was really good, but that's close to... That's not got Cybermen in it.
What? Oh, sorry, no.
Do you mean...
and the Army of Ghosts.
That's more Daleks versus Cybermen, not... And one trying to be the other.
Still half a Cyberman story.
Yeah, but they're not the main focus.
What about the Cyber Woman? Nah, in all seriousness, what about Closing Time? That's a good one.
James Corden, though.
Yeah, but
what's wrong with James Corden?
Fuck James Corden.
The prick.
What's wrong with James Corden?
He was good before he went to America, and now he's
can't stand the guy.
Prick.
He's just a very. He's just lukewarm. He's a lukewarm person.
Please, let's not waste our time talking about him.
Yep. Have we got anything else
viewer
to...
thoughts?
You got any other mates?
We have quite
Anything
a
else
few
to
more.
add? Or
We have more letters. Well, not.
just pick out a couple of them, and then we'll wrap this up.
I'll
Right.
read Tom's because I asked him to elaborate, so I'd feel like a knobhead if I didn't read his out. He said good and bad respectively, and then I asked him to be more specific. And he said, I hate the timeless child plot twist in general. All the plot holes, lore problems, and general inconsistencies it brings up. Plus the episode itself is a boring exposition dump that could have been done better in about 50 different ways. It made a post on Reddit a while back about how I made a post on Reddit a while back about how Ascension of the Cybermen should have been the finale. Basically, my reasoning was Ashad is a way more interesting villain than the Master this season. The setup of the broke down Cyberman travelling through time to change the result of the Cyber War is a way cooler premise than the timeless child. Ascension brought in a new Cyberman design and had a wicked soundtrack to boot, which unfortunately all got pushed aside so they could do the timeless children. So,
I got a good one.
Go on.
From Ben Hobson. Says, I like it, including the timeless child plot, but I'll reserve full judgment for possibly years because I 100% don't believe this is done, and there are still more revelations, twists, etc. to come. No way is this done.
We forgot Revelation of the Daleks.
Yeah. Revolution. What?
Oh,
Revolution.
Well then, fuck that.
You're actually an idiot.
Yeah.
You're actually not a real fan.
Obviously.
Know that name, actually.
To be fair though, Chibnall, this is only the middle of the story that he's building up to. So we can't really be shit this.
Can we acknowledge for a second that nearly all the Dalek titles from the classic era and Resolution, as far as we know, Revolution don't actually connect to the title. Like Resurrection has nothing to do with resurrecting.
Resolution does, it's set at New Year.
Revelation has nothing to do with a revelation in it.
Resolution is set on New Year.
Genesis
about
makes sense.
when they're created.
Genesis makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Death to the Daleks.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But a lot of
Day of the Daleks is probably a Day of the Daleks.
I did
probably a
think
few
of
weeks with
one
all
for
the parts
remembrance,
in
but
it.
I can't remember what it was. There is a connection there. It's a deep one there. Yeah. You got another comment you want to read?
Yeah, I'll read one more. Also, Dan, have you got the randomiser up? For in a minute.
Oh, see, I'm excited.
You had one job, Dan.
My mood has changed completely now because this is the one thing I've been looking forward to all episode.
Oh, we're gonna find out what we're talking about next week.
Hell,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, there's only like 3 more and they're quite short. So one of them just says Ashad's the best Cyberman idea New Who has had, and I agree. To be honest, like he's very interesting. But then
he's wasted.
That was by Landy, by the way. Someone called Chris said, really liked the first part and enjoyed the idea of Ashad. The second part is the second worst finale, only beaten by Hellbent, which is a perfectly good episode. He didn't say that last bit, but it is a perfectly good episode. And then Tyler said, I was disappointed that the Doctor had no agency and things just happened to her. I was banking on it. The Doctor finds a third option to defeat the Master, but it felt like a letdown when someone else had to come in to solve the plot, and that guy was Ko Sharmas. What a legend.
Who just revealed at the end that he sent the Cyberium back in time, which meant he somehow caught the Cyberium.
That's up
from a
there
Cyberman.
When Rose reveals she's good at gymnastics.
Yeah, but it's like, to get the Cyberium is within a Cyberman, so it means he had to capture that Cyberman. Well, first find out which one.
Sorry.
So he had to find out the Cyberman, capture the Cyberman, kill the Cyberman, capture the Cyberium, and send it through time.
Yeah. Well, do you know what, Cameron? When it comes to capturing Cyberium, he got the bronze.
I believe you find he got the gold since he actually did it.
Well,
I'm
Rose
disappointed
actually.
I laughed at that joke.
Well, could I laugh louder, Dan, so people could hear? Oh ho ho ho. It's rib tickling fun.
Oh.
Oh.
Whoa.
Watch the Shobocast. It's rib tickling fun. What was the other slogan we had?
That is not our tagline.
What was our other tagline that we came up with earlier?
Might be shit.
This is not
Might be shit,
entertainment.
yeah.
The Shobocast. It might be shit.
Speaking of shit.
Yeah.
So, should we hit the randomizer?
I have the randomizer up on the randomizer.net.
Let's go.
What?
Randomizer have a theme or anything?
So I just pressed it once to see, check that it works, and it gave me Hellbent. Now obviously that's a test, so we're not
No, we're
going
not
to
doing
do it.
Hellbent. So close.
I'm just thinking, do you want me to hit it like 3 times and give you 3 like choices, or do you want to just hit it and that's it?
Go on.
Ooh.
3 times.
Hit it once, and we'll see what it is.
Okay, because I don't want to just
Shit,
keep
do it
doing
again.
it and it'll defeat the point of the randomizer. So
Yeah,
I've pressed it once. We've got Earthshock.
Yes.
Okay.
I've
I
not
haven't
seen
seen
that.
that.
Okay. Cool.
So, we do an Earthshock.
I guess so. Do you not want to know what the other 2 could be?
Let's just see what the
Go
other.
on.
It's the first time, so we might as well
Yeah.
do another 2. So Earthshock is our first choice. The Waters of Mars is our second one.
Another good one. A
It's
great
tasty.
one.
Watch us get a dead shit one now, right? And our third one is Terror of the Autons. Oh my god, I just watched that last night.
Right.
So
So,
I'm fine with any because they're all good.
basically, Earthshock's another good Cyberman episode. So, we could do that.
And it's got Adric.
However,
Oh,
Yeah.
is that
And
what
Oh.
Earthshock is?
Yeah.
Is that
We-
one?
Yeah,
I don't know if I was wrong.
that's the one with the quiet ending,
Yes.
Yeah.
where it's
No
got no
doubt.
audio.
no doubt that
I would be down to watch Earthshock.
I definitely want to do Earthshock.
So is it
But,
Earthshock?
however, consider this. If we do the Waters of Mars, there'll be some Time Lord Victorious news, and we can seamlessly segue into the episode.
That's a good point. But I don't want
that's
to
a
do
good
it just for a
selling
segue.
Speaking of the
But
Time
we
Lord
can-
Victorious, and then
You can do Waters of Mars any point up until like January, because there will be timeless victorious news up until it finishes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you want, we can have those 3 random ones be the next 3. I would we can do whatever.
yeah, because
But
then that's
I'm fine
an
with
episode
any of those,
classic and
especially
new code
Terror.
on every alternating, innit?
Yeah.
Imagine if we did
so-
it 10 times and everyone's like a new.
Yeah.
we-
So
classic
next week we're gonna watch Earthshock.
Well, this week at some point.
Yeah, we don't know when
Well,
this...
this week.
When's this
yeah,
one going
and then-
on? Because we're recording this on Friday night, which
Well,
is
you
earlier
have
for us.
say Tuesday,
Tuesday.
and then you've got Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to edit it. Then
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. We all done here. We want to wrap up.
yeah, let's plug some stuff.
What's the email address?
The
I've forgotten
links
the
to
email
sponsor
address.
us that don't exist.
gmail.com, but I don't know if we'll use it really. It's fun to like get full messages through and talk about stuff, but
Yeah, I don't. Who uses email? Not us. What we do if you.
Businesses
Hey,
that
listen.
may want to sponsor.
Listen,
Yeah,
Paul.
if you want to sponsor us, email us at with the shibocast@gmail.com.
Listen, Paul.
we
You
will.
simply have to be on email these days.
Oh, it's the only way to converse in many ways, but in many ways it isn't.
It's the future of
If we want to
communication.
converse with people en masse, we want an Amstrad.
Nah, what you want is BlackBerry Messenger.
Nintendo
Nah, the Amstrad is going to
Chat.
outsell the iPod.
Send a broadcast to all of your favourite friends.
Do you want to plug any of your social medias? Anything to plug?
No.
Follow us as a collective at the
Yes.
Shobocast.
Yeah, we never
Nice.
plugged
That
it.
one
think it's
doesn't
just
get
at-
plugged that much. Our Twitter's are in the description, but not the group one.
Is
Yeah,
it the...
I noticed you done that last week, Dan.
No, I
I was
think
like,
it's
why has
just
he not plugged the
Shobocast.
actual Twitter? So,
My Twitter's been in there, and I've never mentioned it.
I feel like we should point out that I've went an entire episode without slagging someone off by accident.
Congratulations.
Do you want to do it now?
I'm looking at Tom Baker, not Tom Baker, Colin Baker. That in a way that was an insult to Tom Baker.
Was it?
Although you did mention Rosie Moore.
You literally said that Colin
we
was a
didn't
fat
mention
gimp or
Rosie Moore
something.
until just now, where we're going to talk
No,
about
I mentioned
Rosie
it
Moore.
earlier on.
Thank you for
And with that
listening to
bombshell-
this episode. We'll
With
see
that
you all
bombshell,
soon.
I think we're going to say goodbye.
Yeah, see you next week for Rosie
Goodbye.
Moore content.
Shut
Oh,
up.
for fuck's sake.
And we're
Earthshock.
done.
Yeah,
Earthshock.
Right.
stop
I've-
recording.
Bye.
I found it on
Rosie Moore content's a good one, isn't it?
Oh, in a way.
In a way.
Weird.
So, do you want me to upload that to Google Drive, Dan?
No.